All right, we have head coach Mike Candrea here. It looks like we've already got some hands raised. So, Troy, why don't you lead us off?
So, Coach, Alyssa, let everybody know that family members are going to be in the stands for this weekend's games. How exciting is that for that to happen? And what was the mood around the room when you got to let the players know that that was going to happen?
Well, they were very excited, as I was. It was pretty different playing in Hillenbrand with no fans, and I even commented that the music was being played low. So I don't know if they were trying to put us to sleep or what, but yeah, the atmosphere was it was different, but we kind of knew going in that it was going to be different. But I know these young ladies are very excited now that their families at least get to come in and watch them play, especially the seniors, their last year. And it's really difficult for parents to live in town and can't come to the game, And so I'm very excited for that to happen, and look forward to the weekend having them.
Ryan, you're next.
What have you thought of the start Janelle's gotten off to this season, and what do you think she's improved on the most since her freshman year?
Well, I think the first thing that just sticks out for me is just her maturity. She's slowing the game down a lot more than she did last year, and that's usually the case after your freshman year. Your motor runs a little high, and you can't control it sometimes. And I think really right now what I saw was a young lady that was under control, and she always has a pretty good plan at the plate. She's got really good hand-eye coordination and good speed, and can make things happen. And so, she can keep her mind clear and just play the game. I think she'll be a really big force for us in that ninth spot.
And Alyssa was pretty adamant that Janelle's going to take her spot as the center fielder of the future. I mean, what do you think that's a role that Janelle is capable of, and why do you think so?
Janelle could do that today. I mean, she's quick, covers a lot of ground, has a good arm, probably a stronger arm than Alyssa right now. But Alyssa, I like her leadership out there. And the thing that Alyssa does really well, she gets really good jumps on balls. I think Janelle will be a very, very, very good center fielder for Arizona.
Does Janelle kind of remind you of Raina? Because she seems like she's very low key.
Yeah, in some regards. I think, a lot of times you look at your really good players in this game, and they have that temperament, where sometimes you wonder if they really care, but it's just that they have a lot of emotional stability. They don't get too high, don't get too low. And I think that benefits you when you're playing a game that there's added pressure sometimes. And those are the kids that tend to do well with pressure. And so, yeah, there's a lot of similarities in both of them. They're quiet, but they're very loud. Come game time, you put a bat in their hand or a glove in her hand, and they're both very good players.
Go to John.
Hey, Coach. Alyssa's in kind of uncharted territory, this being her sixth year with the program. And yet she comes out and she has the weekend that she has, and it just seems like she's even added more elements to her game. She talked about trying to consistently improve. Have you seen another player have kind of that mentality sustained for so long within this program? And how is she able to do that? How is she able to improve so much over such a long period of time?
Well, I think, we've had lots of players that I think had the passion for the game. And I think that's where it begins. Alyssa loves playing the game, and that's her life. That's what she loves to do. And so it's not uncommon for kids like that to take their training seriously and continue to work hard and continue to get better. And you add a kid with her physical skills. I think the biggest thing is that she's just really matured mentally as a player, and she kind of knows what she's got to do, throughout the week to get prepared to play. I think that's the biggest difference between freshmen and seniors. Freshmen sometimes really maybe try to get through practice where a senior really has a purpose and a goal each day and working on things. And to me, I think that's just a sign of game maturity, and that's what you like to see. But we've had lots of players that I think that even in this senior class that I think have continued to work hard at the game, to continue to have a passion for the game. And I think that's what makes this senior class so special. You know, after last week, and I wrote them all a text message. It just said it was bittersweet, not so much about the 5 games that we won, but about seeing them in the Arizona uniform. And this, to me, this senior class has been a very special class that all of them had choices to come back, and they all did. But they're all good people. They're all good players. They're all good teammates. And, you know, if they just continue to lead this group, they're going to be a big factor in how far we go.
Sebastian, you're next.
Yeah, Coach, you immediately commented on the difference in environment, no fans, you know, low music. You know, with how dominant the team was this past weekend, you haven't had to think about it. But in seasons past, have you ever thought about, you know, looking to the crowd to get the team that extra jump? You know, do you ever think about that as a motivating factor, or do you just hope they motivate from within?
Well, I think it starts from within. I mean, if you have to entice a kid to play this game hard and at a high level, then they're not going to go very far in a game, you know. But on the other hand, I think one of the things that makes Arizona softball special is the fans, and being able to play in and the one thing I love about the new stadium, it's loud. You know, I mean, all of the sound goes out onto the field, and so you kind of miss that. And I kind of look back at like Malia's home run. You know, the walk-off home run there was. That crowd would have gone crazy there. And it was like, it was just a home run, you know? And then we can't even celebrate at home plate right now. So you're looking for ways and looking for things that can give you some energy, because I think that's important in this game, but you can't rely on the crowd. I mean, the game is played between the lines, and players have to learn how to do that themselves. And I thought our bench did a really good job, excuse me, of supplying energy to our team throughout the weekend.
Thank you.
Ryan, go ahead.
What do you make of the teams that are coming into Hillenbrand this weekend? And how did the game with Oregon State come about? Because obviously it's rare to play a conference rival in the non-conference season.
Well, I think COVID had a lot to do with that. You know, we were all sitting around as Pac-12 coaches trying to find a way that we could, you know, get some games in. That's why we went to the 4-game series, because we have more control over our protocol, and everyone is quite similar, and you feel like those games have a better chance of happening. And so we had a pretty good schedule set up, but I was very willing that if there was Pac-12 teams that needed opportunities to come out here and play, that we would try to take care of that. And I think Oregon State was one of those teams that needed a place to go this weekend, and we had a tournament going, so we fit them in.
I just have one more question about Janelle. Her speed's been brought up. Is she like a 2.6 speed or a 2.8? I mean, where does she stand on that?
She's probably 2.6, 2.7. She's better than a 2.8. But yeah, she's got good speed. You know, the one thing she's got to learn how to do is get better jumps to steal more bases. But as far as the short game's concerned, if she lays down a drag bunt, you're going to have to be pretty quick to get her out if she lays down a good bunt. So yeah, she's got that speed. I mean, if I go back to my history, you know, I always think of Caitlin Lowe and Natasha Watley in my Olympic years, that those kids are 2.5, you know, and you just it puts so much pressure on the defense when kids like that come up. But you still have to be able to put the ball in play and be able to show some deception at the plate. I think you can have great speed, but if all you can do is slap, I think teams today are much better at defending the slap. So it all starts with the drag bunt. If you're a good drag bunter, which she is, a really good drag bunter, then it kind of opens up everything else for her. And I think the last little layer that she needs is to be able to keep people honest and swing away a little bit. But she's very good at hard slapping. I mean, she's very good at hitting line drives off the slap. So she's got everything that it takes and got good speed to go with it.
And I remember last year you were kind of surprised that she was striking out. I mean, for a player like her, is strikeout rate, is that pretty much the number one thing you're looking at?
Yeah, I think, you know, if you look at our fall games against our pitchers, she very seldom strikes out. So when you see that, you kind of expect that kid to be a tough out when the season starts. And the only time that she's going to ever get, I think, in my eyes, she'll probably have more called third strikes than swinging third strikes because she's got great hand-eye coordination and the only thing that could get in her head would probably be an umpire that's maybe given a wide plate. And for that lefty to try to protect that outside part of the plate sometimes is tough because of the new rule, and them trying to stay in the box has also added a little bit to that. So she's done a good job, and I just really feel like she's going to put the ball in play all the time.
Troy is next.
It was also a big weekend for Charlize Palacio. Had some home runs, got a couple RBIs, made good contact. Is it just her developing her skills, or is it that she's finally healthy and playing at full health?
Well, a little bit of both. I think Charlize is a good hitter and came to us as a good hitter. But again, like everyone else, it's those growing pains you have to go through as freshmen, and a lot of it is just pitch selection. You know, I think she's better now at having a plan and swinging at good pitches and not getting herself out. You know, a lot of young kids at this level will get themselves out because they have a hard time laying off the rise ball or lose control of the outside part of the plate or the inside part of the plate. And I think, you know, the development for her is probably more mental. There's a lot more, I think, stability with her throughout the game. I think that she is not thinking too much, which is a good thing at this stage for her. And she's got good power. I mean, she's got the ability to hit the ball all parts of the field, and that's another blessing that she has. You know, she can hit a ball to right field and hit it hard, and she can also pull. So she covers both sides of the plate very well, and I think right now when she's seeing the ball well and she's on time, she's going to hit.
John?
So I think we talked over the summer about uncertainty and just how uncertain everything's been since even, you know, the cancellation of last season. You know, you lost your first weekend going to Texas, and then now you finally get out on the field and you play some games, and now you have a schedule that's set in front of you. Do you feel like you're certain about? Do you feel like both your feet are on firm ground right now?
Well, I know my feet are on firm ground. I don't know the uncertainty of the future. I mean, I can't predict what's going to happen down the road. But I feel pretty good right now that where we're going and the games that we have scheduled right now, that we should be able to get them in. You know, the Texas thing was just a fluke. I mean, usually you go to Texas and the weather's pretty decent, and we just were there at a bad time, and you can't control that. But we were able to pick up a couple of those games, and we're still looking if we can to pick up the two others that we missed. But I think from here on out, we should be able to complete this schedule without any problems until we get to the Northwest, and then rain becomes a factor.
And as a follow-up on that, you know, it seemed like the AD Dave Hickey was talking about hopefully having fans back in the stands soon. Have you been given any measurements, any statistics, anything, any goals that you guys are looking towards before when that happens, or is it just still make it up as it goes along?
Well, I don't. I mean, I think it's above my pay grade, and it's the powers that be that are working with the county and our medical staff to make sure that it's a time that it's going to be safe for the fans and for the players. And so I think the first step was to try to protect our players and make sure that they had every opportunity to play, because we are testing twice a week, and we're pretty much trying to protect our own little bubble. And so the more people you bring into that, the more chances you have at maybe finding a crease in a dam that could cause some problems. And so I think this weekend is the first step of allowing parents to come in, and then I think they're trying to see how that's going to work. And I would hope maybe by the end of March, because this is our last home series, then we're on the road pretty much most of March until the end. And I'm hoping by the end of March that we'll be able to have some other fans. But I think they're being very precautious about how quickly they go about this to make sure that it works and we don't blow things up.
Kim, go ahead.
Is that entirely an Arizona decision, or is that Pac-12 decision, Coach?
No, I think that's the county and our administration working hand in hand with Dr. Robbins, and throughout this whole process, it's been that they have been the ones that have determined what we could do and what we couldn't do, and I think they've done a wonderful job with it. So I think from here on, they're feeling better about the situation that we're in, but we still need to be we need to hold our guard up to make sure that something crazy doesn't happen. But it's purely them that are making a decision. I can whine all I want, and
all right. Everyone should have recording privileges. If you don't, let me know. But we have senior center fielder, sixth-year center fielder and Pac-12 Player of the Week, Alyssa Palomino-Cardoza, and second-year freshman Janelle Mionio. And we will open it up for questions. Use the raise hand function on Zoom, please. Sebastian, if you're ready, you can go ahead.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I just wanted to ask, how different has it been this season playing without fans in attendance? And are you the type of players that kind of feed off the crowd, or, without a crowd, how do you motivate yourself to be at that same level of competitiveness?
Yeah, it's definitely been different not having people cheer, but I think our bullpen and our dugout this weekend kind of kept the energy up, and they were loud whenever we needed them. So I think we created our own energy, and I think that is what helped us a lot this weekend. But we got the word that we get to have our family in the stands this weekend, so we're pretty pumped about it.
Yeah, I think Alyssa said it best. Of course, it's different without a crowd, but we really provided the energy throughout every single game, and it was fun either way. So I thought it was a great weekend.
Okay, we'll go to Ryan next.
So, Janelle, what did you learn from last season? Obviously, it was a really strange freshman year.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I've learned is that I just need to trust my ability and what I can do and just let myself play the game. I think that's definitely one of the things I've taken away from last year. Yeah.
And do you consider yourself to be a redshirt freshman or a sophomore? When we were talking to Coach the other day, someone referred to, I think it was one of your Charlize as a freshman. He clarified that they were a sophomore. So how do you kind of view that situation?
Honestly, I really don't even know what I would call myself, to be completely honest. Yeah, redshirt freshman, I guess.
And you've gotten off to a really good start. Have you made any changes to your swing since last season, or is your approach different? I mean, what has changed for you?
Yeah, I think just my approach, basically my mindset going into every game, it's way different than it was last year, and it's obviously helped me a lot so far, and I just hope that continues,
So what is your mindset?
Just having a positive mindset, and I mean, there's so many great, I have such amazing teammates that motivate me to be better every day, and they really help me and push myself to be the best I can be, and I just know, and my coaches tell me that I have ability, I just need to trust it, and yeah.
And you guys have a very strong outfield group. What do you think is unique about the way that you play? Like, what do you think your unique skills are?
Me?
Yeah.
My unique skills. I think. Wait, me? Like my skills or like the outfield?
Yours.
Oh, I think that I have speed in the outfield, so I can cover a lot of range, I feel. And yeah, I can get to a ball really quickly and throw runners out.
Alyssa, what do you think? What do you think Janelle's unique skills are?
I mean, I would definitely say the same thing, and she just got an instinct of like, I'm gonna go get the ball, and I think that's something that really helps with our outfield. Like, I know that if I can't go get somewhere, like she's gonna be there, and she is anywhere that anyone can't be. So I think it's really cool to have her out there.
Troy, you're next.
Alyssa, where do you think Janelle has grown the most since year one till now?
I definitely think we'll go with maturity. I think from last year to this year, and she's said to herself, like her mindset, just being able to trust in her ability that she can get the job done and not being scared or timid, but there's more of a confidence in her. And I think that's definitely something that she's grown in the past year for sure.
And it seems like it's not just Janelle, it's Charlize as well, and all the returning freshmen. It seems like they just have a lot more confidence this year. Is that just because of games, less injuries? Is it a combination of everything?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a little bit of everything. And I think getting the game taken away is something that we've all reflected on. It's definitely happened to me, obviously, a lot in the past year. So I think that's something that we've all kind of looked back and like, we don't like not playing. And I think we've all come back with the mindset of we're going to take every game like it's our last, because we know what it feels like just to be taken away. So I think just coming in with a confidence and just, I'm going to go out and play and have fun. And I think we've kind of found that love again to just go out and play and not care about anything else.
And then I noticed that you said there's going to be family in attendance for the first time this weekend. Is that going to be like limited to, just mom and dad, maybe two people? How is that going to work?
Yeah, so we get 4 tickets each, and it's pretty much family only, like mom, dad, grandma, aunts, uncles, stuff like that. So no like friends that we can bring in. So yeah, just family.
Thank you.
John?
All right, I'll try this again. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Alyssa, you played a lot of softball, and have you ever had a stretch like this where you're seeing the ball and hitting the ball as well as you have? Because even your outs, it seems like you're putting the ball where you want it to go.
I mean, maybe I don't know. I just try to focus on what's going on right now, and I just have a different approach to coming up to the plate. As a 6-year senior, just having more of a confidence and a comfortability of being in the box, and just a mindset of you're not going to get me out. And I think that's been a lot of why I just feel like that in the box. I just grew more comfortable and said, I'm done playing around. I feel like my eyes gotten better, and that's something that I really try to focus on. So I think it's just more of confidence and comfortability.
You mentioned how much you've grown over this last year. How do you keep growing in your 6th year of college softball? I mean, a lot of athletes don't get that opportunity. So how do you keep improving?
Yeah, I think it's just working on the little things and always being a student of the game. I mean, there's new stuff that I learn every day and new things that I can talk with coach about fixing little things. So it's just not being complacent. And I think that's at a point where I'm at right now is I'm not going to continue to be the same player that I am, but I'll get progressively better. And I think that's the mindset that I have. And that's why I continue to grow, because I can't stay the same. Because if I stay the same, I'm not going to progress on the field and against opponents. So I think it's just learning little things every day that have helped me a lot.
Sebastian, go ahead.
So now that you guys are, this far into the season with the resumption of play, I just wanted to ask, what has been maybe the most challenging part of this process or the most rewarding part of this process so far?
What's been challenging?
I think I'll go with rewarding. Just this past weekend, I think the most rewarding thing for me was seeing everybody. Coach let everybody play, and I just thought that was something that was really cool. And I was so happy that everyone got the opportunity to go out there and show what we've been practicing for so long. And I just thought that was really fun and a really enjoyable time to watch everybody go out there and play.
Yeah, and I think that's rewarding, especially since, like, the challenge of having season canceled and not knowing if we were going to be able to start, and then having Texas canceled was a challenge. So I think just all these things leading up to that was like, it made us feel like the work we put in was worth it. So just this first weekend was very rewarding in that aspect, and we just can't wait to continue with that.
Yeah, and just to follow up about the family being in the stands, you guys were creating your own energy previously, but now that you're going to have, family in the stands to play for, with them watching you in person, does that give you any extra kind of jump out there, or, a little bit more pregame jitters, just knowing that you've got people, there watching you in person again for the first time?
I wouldn't say that we would get jitters. Like, that's our family, and, they've been our fans and supporters since we started playing this game. So I feel like it's going to be more of a moment to go out and play for them and give us more incentive, because now they're able to watch us play. Like, it's been a long wait for them too. So I feel like it gives us more excitement to go out there and play for them.
We'll go to Alec next.
Yeah, I know it's only been the first weekend, but how have you guys adjusted to playing 5 games over the span of 3 days? You don't really have much of a choice, but do you guys like it? Is it different on your bodies when you wake up on that Monday after and realize that you just played, 40 innings of baseball over 3 days? Or softball, I'm sorry.
Honestly, I think from where we've come from, like travel ball, we're used to playing so many games, and it just, I don't know, like, we're kind of used to it, I feel like. I'm probably more used to it because I just came from travel more recently, but it wasn't anything too crazy,
What about you, Alyssa? Did, playing for 6 years now, is it a little different having to play those 5 games, or is it just kind of routine at this point?
Yeah, it definitely feels more routine-like, and I think having so much time off probably helped our bodies be able to handle that a little bit better. I think we all went out and did what we wanted to do, and we performed well, and everyone's still feeling great, and we know that we have a long run ahead, and I think everyone's feeling good, and we're just going to continue that.
And what would you guys say is the strength of this team so far through the first weekend?
I feel like all of it.
Yeah.
I feel like yeah. I mean, like Janelle said, coach was able to put a lot of different people in, and I think that's a strength that we have this year, is that he can put 5 different pitchers in, or he can change the outfield or the infield around, and that's something that'll be huge for us in the long run, because everyone's going to stay strong with switching out playing, and they're going to get experience, and I think it's going to be a good outcome with that.
Thank you.
Ryan?
Alyssa, what did you like from what you saw from the bottom of the order, and how important is it for you as a leadoff hitter when they're turning it over to you and with people on base?
Yeah, I definitely like that. I joked with Janelle that I wanted her to be leadoff, and we kind of laughed about it, but I definitely think that they did a good job with, being able to turn that lineup over, and it's important just to get back to the start of the lineup and get to our power hitters, 3, 4, 5. We're pretty stacked in that area, so I'm proud that they were able to do their job, and I think Janelle, Bella, Jazz, Peanut, all of them, I think they love that spot, and I think that confidence really helps this team.
And Janelle, I mean, when someone looks at a lineup and they see you in the 9 spot, they'll go, oh, well, they're hitting last. But it is a really important role. And how do you approach that?
I've always been told that, like, the 9th batter is basically like a second leadoff, because you do have the job of flipping the lineup over. And that's just as important. I don't see it as, like, any less. Like, of a position in the lineup, but I do see it as just important, and it's a good. I like it. I like hitting ninth, to be completely honest.
Before coming to Arizona, did you ever have that role before?
Yeah, I actually would always start ninth, and then eventually I would be put first in the lineup. So I'm basically been used to those two.
Is your goal, I'm assuming, just get on base? Is that basically your instructions?
Yeah, all the time. Of course, I always just want to get a hit, get on base, help the team out.
John, you're next.
Yeah, Janelle, what has it been like to learn from Alyssa and to have, and not just Alyssa, but all the seniors, to have this whole, nothing's gone to plan with COVID, but to have a whole, year or 2 years essentially to learn from them, and what kind of mentorship have they given you?
I think they are amazing leaders, and I never take a day for granted, because I feel so lucky, because when does someone get to work with such amazing seniors like them? And I just think that every day I go out there, give it my best, and I know that they're there to support me, and I'm always cheering them on. And I just think that they're teaching everyone to be great leaders and hold the standard of Arizona softball. And it's just something I admire out of all of them.
Troy, go ahead.
So, Alyssa, what was it like getting to see the freshmen play their first softball game, their first weekend of softball, with Carly hitting her first home run, Devin making her first start, and so on and so forth? What was that like to watch that happen?
I think it's a lot of fun. I had texted them in the summer, and there's a running joke that they are my grandkids. So it was kind of fun to see them all get their chance, and to see, Devin and Jesse in the circle and the other ones getting hits. It's definitely a lot of fun for us, and made us happy, when our twins, Soph and AJ, come in with big smiles on their faces after getting a first hit is special to us, and we cherish those moments in the dugout for sure. And watching them play in an Arizona uniform, and they love it. It's just incredible to watch, and we can't wait to see what they do.
Kim, you're next.
So about your families all coming in, so most of them aren't from Tucson, so they'll be coming from outside. Have you guys been given advice about interaction, staying well, that kind of thing, with people coming in from outside?
Not much. Like, we know that we can't stay with them. Any interaction will probably be less than 2 hours. If we go to eating outside with masks on, they will be doing wellness checks every morning before they enter the stadium. So there's a lot of precautions being taken just to make sure that we are all safe.
Anything? Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
I guess, Janelle, how do you kind of envision your Arizona career going? I mean, obviously, you have played center field before, and Alyssa's in that spot now. I mean, is that kind of a role that you see yourself taking on moving forward?
Hopefully, eventually, yeah. But just focused on right now, and Alyssa's there, and I'm happy to play next to Alyssa. So, yeah, in the future, I can see myself there for sure.
I'll answer that for her. Yes, she will be Arizona's center fielder.
Why do you say that?
Because, okay, she, like I said earlier, she's got just that instinct of going to hit the ball and wanting to hit the ball. That first jump she's quick. Her range is great. And I think in the next couple of years, she'll grow into that outdoor voice and be loud and a vocal leader out there, but she'll definitely be center fielder.
All right, Sebastian, go ahead.
Yeah, like you said, things have been different. You've got that cheering and the energy from the bullpen, but when there is like a really big play made, a big catch, a big out, a big run, a big home run, how does it feel, when you don't have that usual, influence of the crowd, since you guys have been playing the game so long, when there are those big plays and you get that roar from the crowd? Is that not being there, felt kind of mentally strange at all at any point, or you just kind of tune that out and focus on the game?
I don't think that's been mentally straining at all. I think on the field, when something like that happens, it's always like a team thing. And I mean, yeah, the roaring of the fans help, but I think when we're able to celebrate together, like that's been a huge thing. And we know that when a big play is made or a big hit is hit, that everyone on the field is cheering, within the team. I think that's what's most important to us. And we know our fans are watching and we still play for them, but I don't think it's been a detriment to I can't talk. I don't think it's been detrimental to us at all.
And then
go ahead.
Yeah, just to follow up on the, on the family coming in, but it's still limited interaction. And, how are you guys feeling about that? Is that kind of just, part of accepting the reality of what it is to be a student athlete right now? Or how has that been difficult to kind of process?
Yeah, it's difficult for sure. But when I did call my mom, she was so happy. She was coming immediately. But it is just knowing that they're going to be there is just a comfort. You look in the stands and you'll immediately see your family. And it's just something that I look forward to because I also haven't seen my mom in almost 2 months. So I'm really excited for her to come this weekend.
And then we've got time for one last question. And John, you will wrap up with the players.
Yeah, really quickly. I couldn't help but notice you jumping in there, Alyssa, to answer that center field question. Are you the best at press conferences now on the team? Have you taken that mantle from Jesse?
I don't know. We might be. I don't know. I was trying to help her out. I know she's a little bit nervous, but but maybe between Deja, Jesse, or I don't know.
Yeah, they've had the experience, that's for sure. All right, thanks guys.